Mill told people about our pregnancy even though we asked her not to. My mother-in-law has a huge mouth and loves to be the center of attention. I cannot stand the woman in general, and she's been extremely rude to me since the day I met her. We don't have a close relationship, but we can be civil when we're around each other. We told her I'm pregnant with number 2 but made her absolutely promise not to say a word to anyone. My husband really thought she could handle it and keep her word. This was at 6 weeks, I am now 13 weeks and just had my NT scan on Friday. We had her come babysit since we couldn't bring our daughter to the scan. She told me she nonchalantly mentioned to someone on the phone that she was babysitting for us BC we had an ultrasound, and of course the person asked about it and one thing led to another and she spilled the beans. She then went and told her sister as well. So I know it was not just a slip, she told people intentionally. The weird thing is she didn't lie to me about it and just came out and told me, half laughing about it, downplaying the whole thing. I don't know if she was just hoping I'd play along and brush it off or she actually thought she hadn't done anything wrong, but either are so frustrating. I instantly told her I wish she has asked me beforehand if it was okay to share. She gave a quick apology and still made excuses. I went and showered. We were all supposed to go to breakfast soon, but I knew this was not the end of it. She went and talked to my husband and he told her that she messed up, took this from us etc., and she apologized again and he said she needs to apologize to me too. After I came out she walks up to me, instantly starts crying and reaching for a hug while saying how sorry she is. It just felt so disgenuine and manipulative. She then brought up how we never call and barely text her back, sometimes she just wants to hear our voice and it's so hard. Further making herself a victim when that has nothing to do with what just happened. Which I called her out on it. She said she just wanted me to know how badly she wanted a relationship with me. The reason we have a strained relationship is because I have felt disrespected by her in various ways from day one. She used to treat me terribly and she's started to play nicer only because she has to, or at least that's what it feels like, but all those years of her treating me badly just pushed me away. So it's hard to want a close relationship with her now, especially when she does things like this. But she wants this close mother-daughter relationship. She tried to play victim again and said that she's tried to have a relationship with me and it hurts her that I don't reciprocate. It's like she doesn't remember everything she's said/done to me. I haven't flat out told her that I felt disrespected by her and I don't know if it's even worth it tbh. She is always the victim anyways. There was a time that she jokingly insulted me, "What's new?" and I got upset and told her that hurt my feelings. Her response was to start crying and say that she didn't want to have to walk on eggshells around me and that's just how she is. Because of everything that's happened, I was planning to just keep my distance from her moving forward. But when she's constantly trying to have this close mother-daughter relationship with me, it's exhausting. I don't know if I should be honest and tell her or it would only open a can of worms. I know at this point I do not trust her or want a close relationship with her at any point. However, maybe it would relieve some guilt I carry because I don't know if she thinks she's done nothing wrong, and I'm just this cold, bitch a daughter-in-law and she's the victim of it all. I really don't know what to do, so any advice would be helpful. Comment. My impression is that she will never be able to admit fault and will turn everything back on you like she did in the examples you gave. Talking to her about it would be pointless. Distance will be your friend and save your sanity. If it were me, I might tell her about past grievances against me if I would feel better, but honestly I feel like that will just give her more narrative to be a victim/pile on the excuses. The fact that she uses crying as a manipulation tactic is pathetic. Is she the youngest in her family/only child? I realize not all youngest/only children act this way, because my mom was and she acts like such a baby sometimes, playing the victim. She will even say stuff like let's just all pile on of Pro Beauty's mom's name. Like, really? No, you love it? You do this on purpose. You purposefully create situations where you are the victim so you can use it as validation to get attention. You even said yourself she's an attention seeker. I personally would just info diet her only since she's made it clear 1, she can't be trusted and 2, she's sensitive to the point of it being unhealthy. You're not her psychologist, don't take that burden on for yourself. It definitely sucks that this happened, but it also definitely seems like she literally created the situation so this would happen. Oh, she's good. The apology felt disingenuous and manipulative because it was. How funny it would have been if you'd taken the spotlight back. Cry, run to your husband, well I just wanted to tell people on our own, just the two of us, why doesn't your mother respect that you have a wife and family now? Mill, I just don't understand why you hate me so much. I've never done anything but love your son. Wail some more and run from the room. In general, does he help you manage her? Does he stand up for you? I'm curious about this because it's important for the two of you to be a united front and insist on respect. What's tough is when there's so much water under the bridge and people don't understand that you're just not interested in getting closer. Sometimes it's too hard to start over because both parties have to be truly trying to change, so, based on how you describe your Mill, you may have your work cut out for you. I suggest keeping Mill on an information diet for the most part and just do your best to be polite and get along, but at some point you may just have to be honest with her that your relationship with her is what it is at this point. This sounds just like my Mill. We told her about my first pregnancy early. She called her friend, happens to be the sister of my husband's ex, and told her straight away, so ex, who he separated from 8 years prior, was straight on the phone crying because he wouldn't have a baby with her when they were in their late 20s. Second time round we didn't tell her, and sadly we had a miscarriage. Third time round we told her after the 12-week scan, and I also mentioned the miscarriage, indicating she should keep it quiet for a few more weeks. Instead of offering her sympathies, she burst into tears and went into a huge attention-seeking fit because we hadn't told her about pregnancy too. Then was straight on the phone to same friend to tell her first. Can't win, I'm afraid. These women are self-centered and toxic. Next story 2. Mill leaves on vacation and leaves her dog to us when we're already busy. Me and my so are going to my home country to get some papers done next weekend. My Mill is also going with her boyfriend to visit his daughter this week. They have a sick dog who can't walk properly and she needs to be taken out at least for 2 walks a day, so my so will have to go to their place every day this week, even though we're already busy getting papers done, attending some of his family's birthday and cleaning the place before we leave, so going to his Mill place 2 times a day will be a lot of extra work when we are already busy enough. I asked why can't she just make an exception this time and not go, to which she replied his daughter is her daughter as well and she can't let them down. But she can let down her own son? Last time we were to visit my home country she also made us cancel and go a week later for the same reason. We had to stay 1 week less because of this. I only see my family 2 or 3 times a year for 2 weeks each. I really think she could make an exception and not put this weight on our shoulders when we are already busy with the preparations. What should I do? I already talked to my so who talked to her and he also doesn't like the situation and told her this, but she keeps repeating how her boyfriend's daughter is her own daughter and she has to go. Please help me. Been aggressively arguing with my so over this for the past day. I understand him because they might euthanize the dog if they can't go on vacations because of her. He doesn't want them to euthanize her, so that's why he accepted, but I just don't feel like I can deal with his mom's nonsense for much longer. She wants to send chocolate to my mom, but I've been contemplating telling her that my mom would rather her stressing us less than sending her chocolate. Comment. Honestly, this sounds super deliberate on her part. She just happens to need help the same time you're planning to visit your own family. And she did it last time you visited. I definitely wouldn't tell her next time you're explaining a trip. If it was me I wouldn't accept the dog in first place honestly. I know it can cause problems but I wouldn't back down a boundary for the sake of it. Tell your BF to call his mom and say I'm sorry but after thinking about it we can't take the dog. You know what our plans are and this isn't the first time you've made us change them. I don't know if this is some power trip you're playing at but this stops now. I love that dog, and I love you but this is something I can't do and you need to accept that. If she cues up the waterworks or starts yelling then hang up the phone. If she, and anyone else tries to do the same thing block them. If your BF likes sex with his mom and her dog, you should let him do that and find a new BF. Tell your BF to make his mother find a kennel for the dog. If he isn't willing to do that for you, tell him to enjoy his mom and you get a BF who puts you first, then call him in a couple years and tell him you have a man that doesn't want his mom more than his GF/wife. This won't help next time, but next trip you are planning tell her you are leaving a week earlier than planned. Sounds like she is planning to use one of your weeks as a dog sitter because you can just reschedule. She doesn't need to know where you are going or when. When she says she needs so to go check on the dog, he needs to say sorry I'm unavailable, you should have checked with me sooner. If you're in a position to take the dog, consider it. Then you too have control over the dog's fate and have removed the control element Mill is able to exert. Any threat to put the dog down can then be met with I'll leave now. Pack up her stuff for me to take. A good response to the offer of chocolates might be my mother loves my husband. I'm sure she'd have rather seen us than a box of chocolate. As to the rest, better your husband speak for you both. If he doesn't yet have a spine, counseling may help. This may be a lifelong struggle to earn his mother's love. If so, he needs to understand that he can't, and shouldn't have to, and that something inside her is broken. If it's something else, that root cause should be identified and dealt with.